I'm back again for more pro bike action, this time with Hugh Carthy's Cannondale Supersix Evo. I'll give you all the specs of the bike, then I'll weigh it. At the heart of this bike is the Supersix Evo carbon frame and forks, finished in a super cool paint design, which is a bit of an EF Education trademark now. Matched up to the frame are Vision Metron 40mm wheels with Vittoria Corsa Graphene tubeless tyres. EF Education are one of the early adopters of tubeless, and up until this year had been using the run flat liner from Vittoria in secret. Well, the secret's out now. Tubeless valves are muck off, presumably as is their sealant, although funnily enough I couldn't see inside the tyres. Along with the majority of the peloton, Carthy's bike is built up with Dura-Ace Di2, their hydraulic disc version. But something very cool I did notice was the carbon plate holding the junction box on the down tube. I like that. Mounted to the hubs are 160mm front and 140mm rear disc rotors. Delivering Hugh's power to the bike is a Cannondale Hollowgram SISL2 chainset. Hugh being the only team member to use this super light option, although on flatter stages he opts for a power to max power meter when trying not to keep the bike as light as possible. The crank arms are 175mm long and he uses the 53 39 tooth chainrings. Mounted to the end of those crank arms are the Speedplate aero pedals. Like many pros this year, he uses an 11 to 30 tooth cassette. While we're at the rear of the bike, just look at this direct mount mech hanger. It's a work of art and is machined from a single piece of aluminium. Jumping to the front of the bike, we can see a traditional bar and stem setup. FSA 42cm wide bars and an FSA 130mm stem. A deep drop bar with a clean finish where you can see all the cables are heat shrink together nice and tidy, hidden away from the wind. Further still out the front is a Garmin 1030 head unit. If you follow down from the bars and onto the forks, we can see a popular mechanic trick where the timing chip is covered with a latex inner tube to help smooth the airflow and keep things looking nice and tidy. Keeping Hugh comfy is the Prologo Naga Evo saddle with carbon rails mounted onto the hologram seat post, where you can also see the 3D printed number holder and the race data holder tucked behind the seat tube. Bottles and their cages are supplied by Tax. I've had the GCN tape measure out and I have the following measurements for you. Hugh Carthy runs a saddle height of 80.2cm. A handlebar centre to saddle tip is 60cm. The saddle to handlebar height drop is 11cm, and Hugh Carthy is 193cm tall. Let's get this bike on the scales. Hugh Carthy's Supersix Evo weighs in at 7.62 kilograms. So there you have it, Hugh Carthy's Cannondale Supersix Evo. And if pro bikes are your thing, then subscribe to GCN Racing and hit the bell icon to be notified when we release another new pro bike. See ya!